was Allen who won last year. And last night it was very close. He voted for May over Stafford, and Stafford won one first-place vote, 5 points overall. Sam Monson, who's been on with us also many times, will be answering to his Justin Herbert choice for a long time, and I'm sure Sam is up to it. He wouldn't have made the choice if he couldn't defend it.
He's already out there, explaining whatever. I saw a chain of tweets, a thread, I should say.
It is interesting, and this is a compliment to Aaron and to Sam in this case, how you can, it's not why you vote a certain way. Here's Aaron Schatz with us on the Wester Hotline. We're talking about Sam Monson and Herbert, Aaron, and yourself with Josh a couple years ago. It's not, I think, not to speak for you, it's not why you vote a certain way, but it can lead to provoking a good, maybe necessary conversation about what the award is worth, what it means.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think it's definitely true of the Herbert vote. We talk about what does most valuable player mean. It's sort of an interesting discussion. I would not have done it, but I didn't do it. I didn't put him on my 5, but I understand what Sam was doing, and I'm glad that he came out and said it was him right away. And I know people have been really negative about it online. You have to understand everyone who has the privilege to vote as one of the 50 voters takes it pretty seriously. So it's not, nobody does anything for the clicks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Vote for a guy because you think that guy deserves the award.
You went May, Stafford, Love, Prescott, Allen. Was it not a year? Maybe your vote indicates this. Justin Herbert, thinking of him. Trevor Lawrence rated in the ultimate tally, where there were, I don't know how many, a half a dozen quarterbacks that really made you think this year.
It would be really hard for me to vote for a non-quarterback for MVP unless they changed the rules for the award, unless they said to us specifically, vote for the most valuable player compared to the average at his position. Because unless you include those words, the most valuable player is always going to be a quarterback.
Right. Well, sticking with awards, how about Coach of the Year? Mike Vrabel wins. He ends up 5th on your vote. That seemed to me this year to be especially competitive.
Oh, man, it's hard every year, but this year really was. I didn't even have room on my ballot for Liam Cohen and Sean Payton, who definitely could have won the award. The weird thing I did was put Sean McVay second because, so many people vote for the big turnarounds, and obviously the Rams didn't have a big turnaround. But, I think, just because they were expected to be good, they were expected to be good in part because he's a good coach, and then he was a good coach. So, to me, he deserves to be considered for the award, although I put Mike McDonald from Seattle at my number 1 spot.
We've really had quite a run of people being upset about voting here. I don't know.
You have to. The Hall of Fame voting is a completely different animal from the awards voting. The awards voting is much more transparent because, you put 5 guys down in order, and that's your 5 votes for that award. And there isn't like this, you can only vote for this guy or I suppose there is. You can only vote for 5 different guys.
Right.
But I feel like the voting for the awards is much more transparent.
With Aaron Schatz, was there any outcome last night that really surprised you?
The fact that Puka Nacua was not second for Offensive Player of the Year.
Okay. What a player, Aaron. That.
To me, it was clear. Nothing against Christian McCaffrey. He wasn't that good as a runner this year. So to me, it was clear the top 2 offensive players who were not quarterbacks were JSN and Puka Nacua, and you could either go one way or you could go the other. But I was really surprised that Puka Nacua finished 3rd.
What a game! The game within the game in the NFC Championship. Those 2 receivers. Nacua just almost seeming undeniable in that game, right down to the last play where he might have given the Rams a chance at a Hail Mary. And Smith and Jigba, who wins, Bulldog liked a point Tom Brady made on the broadcast about him, right?
His route running. Yeah, I had not heard this pointed out. I don't watch a ton of Seattle. We're hosting post game a lot when they're playing in a 4:00 window, Aaron. But Brady, I don't know if you caught this, but was talking about how subtle he is. His upper body does not give anything away on his route running. No matter what he's doing, he generally looks the same, whether he's cutting in, cutting up, cutting out, whatever. And I love hearing stuff like that because, like, a guy that's a real technician like that is, to me, to really be appreciated.
That's the best possible analysis that someone like Tom Brady can offer. Like, that's really good stuff. That's why he's so much improved. And we can talk about the debate about whether he should be allowed to be an owner and a commentator at the same time, which I think no. But as far as being a commentator, he was dramatically improved this year, and it was because of things like that.
With Aaron Schatz joining us on the West Her hotline, Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, Super Bowl weekend. You're out there, right, Aaron, or no?
No, I'm not. This year
Oh, okay.
I do go for various reasons. I'm actually in Austin, Texas, of all things, right now, but I'll be home to watch the game.
Okay, sorry about that. How is this matchup for you historically? We've been sitting at 4.5 all week. Seattle. I saw from betting analyst Evan Abrams, this is the 17th Super Bowl in a row where the spread seems to be coming in under 5, like this long run of games that are thought to be pretty evenly matched. How is it for you in terms of that and just like how good a matchup it is through the years?
I think it's a great matchup because I feel like my job is telling everybody that both of these teams are better than you think they are. Seattle has been in my ratings as one of the best teams ever for weeks now. I mean, the Rams were too, but Seattle obviously is the team that made it to the Super Bowl. So to me, they're not just a really good team. They're like a historically good team. But the Patriots, if you weigh their more recent games with more strength, are definitely a legitimate opponent. They are very strong. They're the second team in my weighted DVOA ratings, a little bit past the Rams. And, yeah, there are some interesting circumstances like the backup quarterback in Denver and snowing sideways in the second half, et cetera. But there's no question they've been much better since October, especially in the last few weeks. And yeah, they're a worthy opponent, but Seattle looks better.
Where do you like New England to find an edge in this game, Aaron? Is it May and his ability to run around and make plays out of structure? Is it some facet of their defense that could give Sam Darnold trouble? Like, where is there an edge that you see for New England somewhere?
Blitzing. The Patriots in this run, the last 5 games, where their defense has had its best 5 games of the year, has blitzed much more than they did the rest of the season. They've been blitzing at like a 41% rate. Darnold struggled against the blitz this year. He was only 23rd in DVOA against the blitz. Even against the Rams, where he played well overall, he struggled against the blitz in that game. A couple of sacks, 4 for 7. So I think that if they blitz him, I think the most likely storyline of a Patriots upset is that they blitz the heck out of him and he sees ghosts again and self-destruct.
Where do you come down on the seemingly never tiring Darnold debate? Like, here it is, we're all the way to the Super Bowl, and you still there is that instinct to, as you might have just alluded to question whether or not he can manage in a game like this or even shine. Thinking about him through the years, and then last year and now this year with Seattle, what has been kind of your path when it comes to Darnold?
He's Jim Plunkett to me, right? Jim Plunkett was the number 1 overall pick, struggled with the Patriots, went to San Francisco, was okay, went to the Raiders, suddenly good, played, 2 Super Bowls with the help of good teammates. And I think that that's sort of Darnold's career path. I think he's proven that he can be an above-average quarterback in the NFL. But at the same time, he did decline in the second half of this year. And there is that worry about specific things like blitzing. It's not that I think Darnold is going to turn back into a pumpkin. It's that the Patriots happen to use a very specific defensive strategy that might make him turn back into a pumpkin.
I'm thinking, Aaron, now, like we had a couple of years or a few even where it was you had to have Mahomes or Jackson or Allen, to be sort of considered like a top-tier contender for the most part. Now you have May and Darnold in this game. Mahomes off a down year and a big injury, wherever we're at with Lamar Jackson, coaching change there and in Buffalo. Are we? I think I'm up for this, not from a Bill standpoint, just as a football fan, sort of a new plateau or something where we can maybe consider, well, many more guys as being capable of going all the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big quarterbacks will be back. I think the Chiefs will rebound next year. I think the Ravens will rebound next year. But we've already, had like Jared Goff, the Lions. Nobody considers Goff one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league, and they've definitely been Super Bowl contenders the last couple of years. So there's different ways to do it. You can definitely be like Denver and Seattle and build your team around other things and have a good quarterback, but not a great quarterback, and go 14-3. It's possible. You can do it different ways.
How do you feel about the Bills elevating Joe Brady? You've been watching the Bills with Joe Brady as their coordinator for 2.5 seasons here and poring over their numbers. Do you think that this was a good idea?
I feel like it doesn't get them anywhere they already weren't. I think they're going to be in the mix because they have a great quarterback, and teams with great quarterbacks are going to be in the mix. They have other good players. They have James Cook. They have the offensive line. There's good stuff going on that's going to make them a contender next year. But I feel like Brady doesn't add anything to it. I feel like there's no reason to think that their chances of going to the Super Bowl with Brady as the head coach are any different than they would have been with McDermott as the head coach. And I say that knowing they could go to the Super Bowl with Brady as their coach because they've got good players and they've got Josh Allen. But I don't see where Brady adds anything.
Yeah, I don't know if you'd agree or have this at the top of your head, but I was thinking yesterday how the Bills might be the team that would be the most bitter, or is the word actually bitterest, about not being in this game. And I think that would have been true last year too. No NFC team other than the Seahawks can really, lay any claim to it. Should have been us. I mean, the Rams had their chance.
Right.
But the AFC, the way the Bills are losing these playoff games, maybe the last 2 years, maybe 3 or 4 times, they're the team, I think.
I know.
Do you agree? Like, they're the team that could say, this really should have been us.
I don't know what to say to soothe the Bills fans. They've lost in ridiculous ways, and it is absolutely true. The fact that the Broncos won that game and then lost their quarterback, thus making the AFC Championship game much less even. I definitely understand the frustrations.
This is historic stuff, right? Bills and Ravens both over the last 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
DVOA-wise and just not getting there?
They're the best. It's like the best 5 and 6 year spans of DVOA without making it to the Super Bowl. Now, here is the bright side. I don't have DVOA going back this far, but the Rams from 1972 to 1978 would be had a similar streak where they were fabulous every year and they just couldn't get to the Super Bowl. And in 1979, they finally did.
You know what they did, Bulldog? They changed coaches.
It also reminds me a little bit of the Red Sox. It just switched sports. But the kind of close losses reminds me a lot of what happened to the Red Sox from 2000 to 2003, where it felt like they just kept getting close and then losing at the last minute, and then 2004 happened. So, you never know which year it's going to turn around, and all of a sudden the serendipity is going to go your way.
All right, so I'm going to need to fall behind, way, way behind in one of these playoff games, one of these years, then is what I'm going to need to do, because you can't fall behind 0-3 in a football. There's no series, but still, I need to fall behind,
28-3. You
right.
fall behind 28-3.
And then make it happen from there.
They changed managers, too, didn't they?
They did.
Grady Little to Francona?
Yeah.
Yep.
The Rams went Knox to Malavasi. Knox came here. They went to Ray Malavasi. Got to the.
I think with the Bills, I think if things had happened a week earlier, they would have ended up with Harbaugh or Stefanski as their head coach, not Joe Brady, and I would be more excited about it.
I just wonder if they would have had the appetite for it. Candidate-wise, sure, but doing this was Brady so superior, say, to Udinsky. I almost forgot the name of the Jacksonville candidate, or Davis Webb, who had played for the Bills and had been around the office. That makes me wonder if they would have done the thing you're saying, but I'm sure there would have been a lot of clamor for it.
Yeah, Stefanski, I think. I mean, Harbaugh is a little bit of a different animal because he's much more of a CEO type, but with Stefanski, I think there would have been the, oh, my God, let's get this offensive play caller in here for Josh and see what we can do.
Aaron, a couple things before you go. FTN Fantasy, I'm not sure if you're playing any fantasy stuff in the playoffs. I am. And Henderson is killing me. Stevenson this year for New England, I guess he's held up, obviously, and he's got the coach's trust after a tough start. But, man, 4 snaps for Travion Henderson in the AFC Championship. Is there any hope in your mind that he has a game Sunday?
No, because his big thing is the explosive runs, and no defense allowed fewer explosive runs this year than Seattle.
Is there any player or concept here that you're into?
Hunter Henry.
Similarly? Hunter Henry, okay.
Seattle has a bit of a problem with tight ends. Relative problem in that they're average instead of awesome. And so I do like Hunter Henry to have a nice game.
Okay, like as a prop bet idea. What do you think of Kenneth Walker's chances to have a game?
I do. I like that because I think that if Seattle wins in a comfortable way, he'll get a lot of rushing yards, and they won't be. I think if you think of the mindset of people in the press box, they won't want to give Darnold the MVP award. So if Walker has a nice game, they'll be like, all right, Walker's the MVP.
Bulldog and I have a bet on Emin Worry at plus 50,000 from 3 weeks ago. Now he's injured. Thanks.
Yeah. I don't know how bad the injury is. It sounds like it's not that bad.
It sounds like it's not that bad, but I saw a video of him walking. At least I think it was him getting out of a van and okay.
Didn't look good.
I'm a little scared.
Sounds like he'll be playing at 95%. He may be limping a little bit, but he'll be out there. He'll be rocking.
I mean, at plus 50,000, you can't really complain.
No, right. I mean, it's a dart throw all the way. But
it
a couple of interceptions,
Right. That was the thinking. Right. Maybe a strip sack or something. Like just make a couple of splash plays and nobody else smashes, and there you go.
Aaron, what have you got to promote? What's your off-season calendar like?
I mean, FTNFantasy.com has all of our usual stuff, for picking the game, for picking props. My big Super Bowl preview is up. And then for the next couple months, I go kind of on hiatus, but I recommend the site because we have great baseball projections. We have all kinds of new NBA stats, our new NBA Stats Hub with a bunch of NBA charting, expected points models for basketball that you should really check out if you like other sports. So even though I'm kind of on hiatus, the site keeps going with other sports.
And I know you have Jeff Ratcliffe, and he'll be into the dynasty draft, rookie draft stuff.
Very much.
Hardcore.
All kinds of rankings for preseason, for mock drafts, and Jeff Ratcliffe does all that stuff. Yep.
Thank you very much, Aaron, as always. We appreciate your time.
All right. We'll talk to you next season.
Aaron Schatz.